Hi boys and girls, it's Bored with Miss Reynolds, better off reading every day. I have two books for you today, and they are The Berenstein's Bears, Go on Vacation, The Berenstein Bears, and Too Much Vacation. These are first time books. The Berenstein Bears, Too Much Vacation. Can a bear's vacation with more rain than sun end up being the one that's most fun? Too much vacation. Well, that's everything, said Mama Bear, as she and sister and brother bear held the car trunk lid so that Papa Bear could tie it down. Not quite, said Papa, running back into the treehouse. We almost forgot the camera, he said when he reappeared. What good is a wonderful vacation without photographs to remember it by? Good thinking, Papa, said Brother. May I take some pictures when we get there? And how about me, Sister wanted to know. Of course you may, said Papa, as they bundled into the car. We're all going to take pictures of the most wonderful vacation the Bear family has ever had. All right now. Everybody, buckle up and we'll be on our way. 4 safety belts clicked into place and they left their safe, comfortable treehouse and headed for the excitement and adventure of a vacation high in the wilds of the Great Grizzly Mountain. It had been Papa's idea to take their vacation in the Great Grizzlies. I'll be a real wilderness expert. It'll be a real wilderness experience. We'll live off the land. We're getting too soft here in the valley with all our supermarkets and other conveniences. When he saw the ad in the newspaper, there was no holding him. It said, try a wilderness vacation, a lovely mountain cabin complete with a rowboat by beautiful Crystal Lake. Ah, said Papa, painting beautiful word pictures to wake with the rising sun and catch our breakfast from a clear mountain creek, to bathe in its sparkling water, to snack on delicious wild berries as we trap the mountain trails. To gaze at the beauty of a mountain sunset, then to sleep through the peace and quiet of mountain night from far, far from the noise of traffic and neighborhoods barking dogs. It all sounded great to the cubs. What kind of fish will we catch, Papa? Asked Brother. Trout, no doubt, he answered with supreme confidence. But Mama wasn't so sure he would catch anything. So when she packed, she took along some canned goods in case the trout weren't biting, and some books and games in case of rainy day. I can almost taste that fresh caught trout, said Brother, as the road led ever higher into the mountain forest. And I can almost taste those yummy wild berries, said Sister. And don't forget my terrific And don't forget my terrific wilderness stew, said Papa, as he turned onto an ever steeper road. But we didn't bring things for stew, objected Mama. All we bought are canned goods. Of course we didn't, laughed Papa. I'm talking about my special live-off-the-land survival stew. It's my secret recipe. I made it from bark, leaves, and roots that I find in the woods. When will we get there? Asked the cubs. Very soon. I can tell by the smell of the mountain air, said Papa, taking a deep breath. That's not mountain air, complained Brother, making a face. That's skunk. Said Papa, wriggling his nose. A good time to start taking those pictures, thought Mama. Phew, said Papa. Click, said the camera. There's the cabin, shouted Sister as they rounded the bend. And there it was, indeed, a mountain cabin beside a lake, complete with a rowboat. Of course, it wasn't quite as they had pictured it from the ad. Crystal Lake looked more like a mud soup. The lovely mountain cabin looked more like a tumble-down shack. There was a rowboat, all right, but it was half sunk in the lake. But Papa wasn't the least bit discouraged. He was more excited than ever. It's perfect, he shouted. The most perfect live-off-the-land vacation spot I've ever seen. Mama wasn't so sure. She noticed that there were no wires leading to the cabin, which meant there was no electricity. That's the last thing we need, scoffed Papa. What you need on a live-off-the-land vacation is plenty of can-do spirit and lots of forest smarts. And I've got enough of those for all of us. He took a cooking pot and a folding chair from the car trunk. Here, he said, making a seat for Mama. This is a vacation. You relax while I gather the fixings for my fabulous wilderness stew. And you two tidy up the cabin, he called to the cubs as he headed into the forest with the cooking pot. But Mama didn't expect to do much relaxing on this vacation, and she wasn't surprised to find that the cabin was an even worse mess inside than it was outside. There was an ankle-deep carpet of twigs, branches, and dead leaves on the floor, and it was particularly a museum of spider webs, cocoons, mouse nests. Time for another picture, thought Mama. Scurry, scurry went the mice. Click went the camera. What's this? Asked Sister as she cleaned leaves out of the sink. That's a hand pump for water, asked Mama. Just what I need. It was Papa back with his cooking pot full of strange-looking bark, leaves, and roots. A little water for my stew. He worked the handle. The pump gurgled and squeaked, and after a while began to squirt water, rusty brown water. But he wasn't discouraged. Just what I need for my stew, he said, cheerfully, ready-made gravy. He carried the pot outside, where he had prepared a cooking fire. It was very exciting for the cubs, but Mama wasn't so sure. So she made a fire in the fireplace and warmed up a supper of canned beans and dried honeycomb. When Papa cried, "Stew time!" the cubs ran out for the first taste. Mama followed with the camera. Here's to living off the land, said Papa, holding up a big spoon of the strange-looking stuff. Then he, brother, and sister each took a taste. Ugh, said sister. Blech, said brother. Patooey, said Papa. Click, said the camera. Mama Bear's supper of beans and honeycombs proved tasty. Papa Bear stretched and yawned. Now early to bed so I can get up with the sun and catch our breakfast. Woot, ribbit, woo, ribbit, woo, ribbit, click, 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 ribbit, woo. The sun did rise and it was very beautiful, but Papa snored right through it. The frogs, crickets, and the owls had made such a racket during the night that he hadn't fallen asleep until just before the rising sun lit up the sky. Papa began to get a little discouraged when he went out to catch breakfast. The boat sank as soon as he stepped into it, and all he caught was gloppy mudsucker that made snuffly noises and stared. Snuffle, snuffle, glop, said the mudsucker. Click, said the camera. It was Papa's turn to snap the picture when Mama and the cubs tasted the wild berries. The thorns were something fierce, and the berries were so sour even the birds puckered. Later, there was a perfectly beautiful sunset, but the bear family didn't get to see much of it. They were too busy swatting the swarms of hungry mountain mosquitoes that swooped in from the lake. Live off the land, you say, shouted Mama as they ran for the cabin. With all the thorns and mosquitoes, it's more like the land is living off of us. It began to rain just as they reached the cabin, but the roof leaked badly, and pretty soon they had more leaks than they had pots and pans. They spent a miserable night. By morning, they were soaked to the fur, and there was a foot of water in front of the stairwell. Don't worry, said Papa. The rain can't last forever, and just as soon as I sweep out this water, Don't worry, said Papa. The rain can't last forever. And just as soon as I sweep out this water, but instead of Papa sweeping the water swept Papa out the door, down the muddy slope, and into the muddy, mucky lake. When Mama and the cubs reached him, he looked more like a mud ball than a Papa Bear. Say, he said, looking up at them, I have a terrific idea. Let's go home. So the bear family loaded up the truck, put the car top up, bundled into the car, and bumped and splashed down the mountain in the driving rain. The rain had stopped and the sun had come out by the time they reached the valley, and their treehouse had never looked so good to them as it did that day. The next day, Mama took the film to the camera store to be developed. When the pictures came back a few days later, the Bear family wrote titles on them. They began to chuckle as they passed their pictures around. The chuckles grew to roaring laughter, and soon they were laughing so hard they cried. Papa smells the mountain air. We are greeted upon our arrival. We taste Papa's wilderness stew. Papa catches our breakfast, our first taste of wild mountain berries. Papa decides it's time to go home. And every so often through the years, they take out those pictures and have an absolutely wonderful time enjoying the worst vacation the Bear family ever had. That's what I love about pictures, boys and girls, the memories that they hold. I have boxes and boxes and albums of pictures all through my life of different vacations that I went on with my family. That one was called Too Much Vacation. This one is called Go on Vacation. When summer begins and school is done, the bears go down to the sea for fun. They pack the car with seashore things for baby honey, water wings, flippers for sister, and surfboard for brother, a comfy inner tube for mother, tackle for papa who loves to fish. To catch the big one is his fondest wish. They drive and drive and drive and drive. They wonder if they'll ever arrive. Brother asks Papa, will we be there soon? It's getting late in the afternoon. Says Papa Bear. Take a deep breath. Smell that salt air. Just over this bridge and across the bay is the special place where we will stay. They see the sea, they hear its roar. There is something special about the shore. It soothes the spirit, it clears the mind. You can leave your cares and worries behind. Up ahead is the house where the bears will stay. On one side, the ocean, the other, the bay. They go inside, they look around. All they can hear is the ocean sound. The house is warm from the afternoon sun. The bears' vacation has just begun. There is still time for an afternoon dip. Into their swimsuits, they hurriedly slip. This way, cries Papa, and shake a leg. The last one in is a rotten egg. A great wave knocks them head over heels. How wonderfully cold and tingly it feels. Baby honey and mama watch the fun, sitting in a pool warmed by the sun. Then, after eating a quick supper and climbing into their beds, they're asleep when the pillows touch their heads. When they wake in the morning, what greets their eyes? The glorious sight of seashore sunrise. The sun rising from its ocean bed paints the sky a rosy red. A quick breakfast, then to the general store. It has all you might need and lots more. They buy candles, sunscreen, spray to keep the bugs away, and coloring books for a rainy day. Some picture postcards for Gran and Gramps, some film for the camera, and a roll of stamps. Then back to the house without delay, and down the beach for a big beach day. The bears ride the waves, they swim, they float. They wave to the bears in a fishing boat. They cover Papa with sand until all that shows is his eyes, his ears, his mouth, and his nose. With buckets of sea, they wet down the sand, build a castle so mighty and grand that it will be ready for whatever befalls or anyone trying to breach its walls. Gull Island Cafe menu. Then hungry as bears, at the end of the day, they go to the diner at Gull Island Cafe, where plates are held high with the fruit of the sea. Pa tries the hot sauce, water, water, it his pitifully plea. And at the end, a hard day's fun, the bears' first seashore day now is done. In the morning, the shore is shrouded in fog. The beach is closed, so they go for a jog. It looks like rain, the sky is gray. What can the bears do on a cold, rainy day? There's more to the shore than the sand and the sea. Gull Island Museum is the place they should be. There's so much to see, a whaler's harpoon, the jaw of a shark, a Spanish doubloon, a pirate flag tattered and torn, a thing once thought to be unicorn's horn, that's really the tusk of a kind of whale, the model of a ship that was lost in a gale. The splintered oar of a whaler's dory, each thing they see tells them a story. Come, cub, says Papa, on another day, let's go fishing in Gull Island Bay. Says Mama Bear, honey, I will stay behind, so go and have fun, we don't mind. The bears rent a boat, they climb aboard. Pa starts the engine by pulling the cord. He helps brother and sister with the bait. They drop their hooks and patiently wait. They wait so long that Pa falls asleep. The bears catch some fish, but they're too small to keep. The sun is now setting, it's 6 o'clock. Pa restarts the engine and heads for the dock. The leftover bait is tossed up high. Hundreds of gulls swoon fill the sky. They laugh and cry, they dive and swoon. They twist and turn, they loop the loop. Their feeding frenzy soon is done, and off they fly towards the sun. It's Fisher Bear Mom who turns out to be the winner. She fished from the beach and caught a whopper for dinner. The sun and the sea, the seashore weather, and all somehow seem to run together. The night so cool, the noonday heat, making the sand too hot for bare feet. The ocean's roar, the lulls them to sleep, as they dream about the mystery deep, where giant squid never seem alive, swim the great ocean's depth too deep to dive. And so, as the sun sets over the bay, the bears come to the end of their seashore stay. Oh, what a wonderful time they had. As they say goodbye, they feel a bit sad. But the bears know as they go on their way that the sand and the sea are here to stay, and they will return another fine day. And that is the end, boys and girls, of the Berenstein's Bears Go on Vacation. I do love this one. I think this may be one of my favorite summer books so far. Boys and girls, it's Bored with Miss Reynolds, better off reading every day. I don't own the rights to these books that I have read to you, but I love storytelling magic. And the magic of these two stories is they're all about vacation. And I myself am wrapping up my last vacation for the summer. And I wanted to wrap it up with these guys. Aren't they precious? My daughter has learned so much from Berenstein Bears over the years. And I love bringing these guys out and bringing these books because they are priceless treasures. I will see you again really, really soon, boys and girls. I don't own the rights to these books. You do know that. But magical storytelling is what I do, and I do it especially for you. I do it high, I do it low, I do it rain, I do it snow, I do it slow, I do it fast, I do it whenever I'm in class. It's me, Miss Reynolds, bored as I can be, waiting right here so that you can see. This is where I was meant to be, and I'll see you again soon. Maybe. We're talking 25 minutes of nonstop reading. Who else is thirsty? Cheers.